Alright, welcome to episode number 3 of Graphic Dudity!
Suicide Squad.
Yep, this episode is about Suicide Squad. Just came out this last Friday, August
5th?
5? Yes, we'll
Friday.
go with that. Friday. Technically Thursday, because they're always coming out on Thursday. So, Suicide Squad just came out, and this episode we're going to kind of stick with a theme of like team-ups and stuff. But first off, Josh, what are we going to be talking about first?
We're gonna do a little Pokemon Go update.
Pokemon Go update. So Josh, where are you sitting right now?
I just leveled up 21.
Level 21. I am still level 16. I have not played hardly at all this last week, partially because my data is kind of skyrocketed. So I'm kind of taking it easy up until I think tomorrow it resets for the next month, and so next month it should be next month tomorrow for my phone bill. So I should be good.
Woo!
Be able to rock and roll. So, and there's that. Any good catches you've made recently?
I haven't been really catching anything. I'm actually getting aggravated. Pokemon Go seems like it's all the same stuff.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I mean, obviously, everyone's getting Pidgeys and Rattatas and stupid Weedles, but just this kind of area just seems pretty dry right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the craziest I caught the other day was, oh god, what was it? Was it a Weeping Bell?
Nice.
They just wander around. There's a bunch of bell sprouts and stuff going around too recently, so it wasn't that crazy.
I've evolved a bunch of stuff, but I haven't really found or hatched anything.
Yeah, you've been having pretty bad luck with your hatches recently.
Yeah.
All my hatches have been pretty, somewhat okay, stuff I've kind of needed. But I've also had, Dratini and, some, really rare ones. So
Nice.
it's kind of crazy.
The best thing that's happened lately is when my wife and I were in Omaha and just found a bunch of cool stuff down there, like a Jinx and a Dratini and
Yeah.
all kinds of cool stuff there, but in this area, Kearney area where we're from, nothing.
You got to go to those highly populated areas. That guy who caught, first caught all the Pokemon in the game, at least for his region, was in New York. And the furthest he had to travel to catch something was, he had to go down to Newark, New Jersey. And, that's a half-hour train ride. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of cheap. Those high populated areas get, a plethora, and we're stuck out here with, nothing. Granted, they're also, trying to get us to travel and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's our Pokemon Go update in the bag! Now, what are we moving on to next, Josh?
Next we're gonna start a new thing called the read list, which we're gonna go over the stuff we've been reading lately. I read some new Suicide Squad.
I have as well.
Before the movie came out. I think I found them on I don't know.
Is it new, brand new Suicide Squad stuff, or is it stuff that's come out and you just got it as bargain?
They were back issues at the time I picked them up. I think it's Free Comic Book Day or something.
Gotcha.
They were having a sale on back issues, so I got a couple issues of that. It was kind of cool. You had your class, classic members like Harley,
A-class A-lister, I guess is what you would call it for that.
Deadshot, but you also had people like Parasite, who I completely unfamiliar with him. I guess he's a Superman villain. Reverse Flash was in it. Manta was in it. Manta's a Aquaman villain who I know little about. And they were battling this offshoot of the League of Assassins. It was pretty good.
Interesting.
I've also got what I've been reading. This is Roots of Swamp Thing, which is a pretty old book, but it's by Len Wein, who invented or created, I guess, Swamp Thing. It's pretty good. The writing's pretty good, but some of it's also pretty cheesy since it's so old.
When did this run come out?
I'd have to look. But it's still got. They're still doing the thing where like the character in the panel thinks out loud the action.
Oh, he
happening.
said like they say like I must stop what's his face from doing this and like
Yeah.
the golden age. This is the golden age, I think, or at least silver age.
It's 86.
Okay, 86. So yeah, that's just after golden age, I believe.
I'm pretty sure Len Wein's the guy who created Swamp Thing. That sounds right. I could be wrong. I'm sure Scott will tell us if we're wrong.
Yeah, Scott will. He should be our Scott. Just be our editor or our producer. Just like talk into our little ear mics and tell us when we're messing stuff up. Oh, by the way, this is my place we're recording at. I should mention that. If you noticed, our background's a little bit different. Just kind of randomly thrown in the show. We can edit it. It's fine. It's fine. All right, moving on to our next Josh read list.
Also been reading some Hellblazer in preparation for Justice League Dark. I've read some Justice League Dark, but I wanted to do some Constantine. I found these at like a Hastings in Kansas somewhere for like $1 each. Written by Andy Diggle. A lot of people will recognize that name.
Hey, Green Arrow Rider, right?
Yeah, Green Arrow. I've actually got some Swamp Thing I'm gonna read soon. He wrote.
Didn't know he did a Swamp Thing run.
Diggle from the show Arrows, named after Andy Diggle. But yeah, those are really good. Those are really like dark and messed up. And
When does Justice League Dark come out?
I think it's this fall.
I was gonna say it. Like I'm guessing around Halloween time, but I don't know if you knew an exact date because I am excited for that as well. So for me, my current read list. I've been kind of going through the Fantastic Four. Hi, can I help you?
I'm just interested in what you're talking about.
Oh yes, I hope you are. So I've been kind of going through some of the back issues for Fantastic Four, or this is the FF run with Jonathan Hickman. This was his run with Fantastic Four. This was the new, basically just the book before this. The Human Torch died, and so Spider-Man steps in and takes up the role as the fourth member of Fantastic Four. So it's actually a very interesting run so far. I've yet to start this new iteration of FF, but so far Jonathan Hickman's had some really crazy stuff going on. Another one, East of West. It's this is actually the collection book. I am on book 3 currently. This is book 1. But I think there's 4 or 5. It's basically just completely different world. It's an Image comic, so completely separate of Marvel, DC, whatever. And it's a futuristic cowboys and Indians story, but it's very sci-fi and orientation. So it's kind of hard to like give a synopsis of what it is, but I would highly encourage you to pick it up.
That sounds pretty interesting.
And then Axe Cop. This is a Dark Horse book. Just goofy, wacky, zany. I know very little about this, but I do know that there is they started a Kickstarter or something for a online like animated episode of this book, and it's just outrageous. And basically, whenever I read it, like so from what I have read, I'm reading in the voice of Nick Offerman. For those of you who don't know who he is Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation, and he even kind of looks like him. The mustache, just like a little more pissed off version of him.
I can see it.
But it's just crazy. I mean, if you get a good look at this, it's literally like dinosaurs and a baby with a unicorn horn, and he carries an axe. So
he's a cop who wears Axe body spray. That's all you need to know.
No, that's a different book, Josh.
Sorry.
That's middle schooler exclusive. Like that's a totally different story.
My bad.
All right, so that crosses our reading list off.
Yep.
What is up next?
We're gonna do speed round.
Oh boy, here we go.
Our episodes are always pretty long, so we're trying to we're doing some training on how to tighten up the screws and get things a little shorter. So we're gonna do speed round with short answers. First one, Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Coke. Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Stones.
Knew it.
Rock and roll. Boxers or briefs?
Both.
I wear boxer briefs. Comfort and not emasculated. Cats or dogs?
Both.
I like both. I grew up liking cats, but I'm kind of liking dogs a little bit more.
Same. Accurate.
Pancakes or waffles?
French toast.
Me too! Woo!
Alright.
Out of those two, I still say pancakes.
Pancakes.
Favorite season?
Fall.
Me too! It was summer when I was a kid, but I don't get summer vacation anymore, so
Yeah.
I like fall better now. Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburgers.
Hot dogs. If you had to eat one food every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Chicken, because I already do that.
Tacos.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
McD's, BK, or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
I think I'm gonna go with BK's.
The Whoppers aren't the same anymore. They're like little thin strips now.
I always get like chicken stuff there.
No, the chicken stuff's okay.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup all the way.
Mustard.
Screw mustard.
I hate ketchup. Most people hate mustard. Sandals or sneakers?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with sneakers, even though I prefer to like have open toes because I hate smelly feet.
I'd go barefoot if that was a choice, but otherwise sandals because it's the closest to barefoot.
You hick.
Swim in a pool or in a natural body of water?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with pool because it can be anywhere.
I prefer pools too, unless it was like really clear water.
Yeah, there is no clear natural body of water.
Not around
that doesn't
here.
happen.
Maybe
in the Bahamas, but that regardless.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast all the way.
Me too.
Omelets.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Facebook, definitely. Facebook or Snapchat. If you had to get rid of one forever.
I can do without Snapchat.
Me too. Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Me too. Comedy or drama?
What about a dramedy?
That's a thing. I mean,
It is a thing. I'll go with that.
I'd go comedy. Being too hot or too cold?
Too cold because you can always put on more clothes.
You can only get so naked before they arrest you.
Exactly.
Online shopping or in person?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go online.
Online's my first choice. It really depends on my mood and what I'm doing though.
Yeah.
Generally, I prefer online. It's just quicker.
Yeah.
Graining or McFarlane?
Oh.
You're thinking about this? This is hard for you?
Because like I started with Family Guy. I didn't really watch Simpsons much, but now I'm starting to like Simpsons more than Family Guy. So I'm gonna go with groaning.
I'm going with graining too.
Also because of Futurama.
Yeah, definitely. All the way. Qdoba or Chipotle?
Chipotle, dude.
Really?
Chipotle all the way. Qdoba makes me sick.
I love Qdoba. They have queso.
Yeah.
Chipotle doesn't have queso.
Yeah, but Chipotle doesn't make me want to die every time I eat it.
Yeah, it doesn't taste good though.
It tastes amazing.
Taco Bell, Taco John's.
Ooh. Taco Bell.
I'm gonna have to go Taco Bell too, even though I pigged out on some Taco John's not but 2 hours ago.
I was gonna say you just had it.
I did. Oh.
So that was our speed round. Super fast.
Quick tangent on that last thing. I heard on the radio that Taco Bell's going to be making some kind of burrito with Cheetos in it. Which, did you ever have the Flamin' Hot Cheetos burritos from Taco John's?
I did.
So good.
So delicious. We will be doing food reviews from time to time.
Flamin' Hot Cheeto burrito, 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah, have you had at Taco Bell the new Triple Double Crunch Wrap Supreme?
I did.
Super good. especially if you get the spicy version.
I did.
Like you get little jalapenos in there and a little spicy cheese. Oh, so good. But my behind was thanking me later. So, now we've moved on from food and speed round. What is next, Josh?
We're doing some top fives. First one, if you could pick your own Suicide Squad, top 5 people you'd choose.
Suicide Squad. I actually had to write it down just because
Me too.
I'm picky like that. Mine would have to be Deathstroke, Deadshot, Bane, Black Manta, and Cheetah. And these are all characters who have made appearances in Suicide Squad in the comic run. So the only thing that is difficult is all these people, all these villains are leaders.
Yeah.
In their respective fields, they are all masters. And I feel like depending on what kind of situation they're thrown into, it might pose a bit of a problem because, like, when it comes to tactics, they might disagree. Or they might all just be so good they all agree and would totally go with it. But they are all master, like, they're super smart, super fast. I think Deadshot is the only non-metahuman out of this group. He's just really good at shooting. But he's also really good when it comes to hand-to-hand and when it comes to urban terrain. So I think he's pretty on par with Deathstroke in that. The only thing Deathstroke has is he has the metahuman factor of the superhuman intelligence, one that even would compete with Lex Luthor.
Huh.
From what I've read, he's up there.
Nice.
So who is your Suicide Squad, Josh?
We had a couple of the same. I put down Deathstroke.
There we go.
Put down Bane, like you.
Yep.
For his intelligence and
Yep.
his strength. Deathstroke, just because he's a kick-ass assassin.
Yes, he is.
Ozymandias from Watchmen.
Oh,
snuck him in
man. Okay. Clever girl. Got it.
Originally, I put down Talia al Ghul, but then I crossed it out and put Black Adam. Just because I thought it'd be good to have somebody who's in with like kind of like the magic and.
You do kind of have to have that to compete. I didn't really have anyone in mind, so that's a good thought.
My fifth one was Poison Ivy, just because she's like master of like plants and stuff.
She's also really smart too, like when it comes to intelligence factor. So I feel like she would be great use for traps. So all right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good selection right there. All right, who's next? Justice League, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Justice League, my number one. Can you give it a guess?
Your Justice League?
My number one though. My number one slot. Who do you think I'd pick?
I'd hope Batman.
It is Batman. It is Batman. Batman is my number one slot there. I'll have to go with Green Arrow. Or excuse me, Green Lantern.
Oh.
Not Green Arrow. Unfortunately, he doesn't make this list. Green Lantern. Just because he is the galactic, kind of like Overwatch. Cyborg. He is important for the technological side. Who else did I have? Wonder Woman. Just mainly because I'm super hyped for the new movie.
Looks good.
Oh, looks so good. We talked about that in the last episode. And my number 5. Who is my number 5? I can't recall. I should have wrote that down. I'm gonna go with Flash.
So basically, the actual Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're not gonna go wrong with it just because, like.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
What are you gonna start picking some like D-listers?
Maybe like B and C listers.
Okay.
These were my choices. Batman, of course.
Yes.
Green Arrow.
Okay. Yeah, I knew you'd have.
I put those two just because they're like my favorites.
They're your.
There's
love.
really no.
It's your first love.
After that, I put the Atom.
The Atom. Okay, that's you got that love for your. What is it, Legends of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Ant-Man and Iron Man put together.
That's what I've heard. A lot of people are comparing this iteration of him.
Next originally I had Dr. Manhattan because I love Watchmen, but then
That's God mode, though. You
Yeah.
can't have that.
if you had Dr. Manhattan, you wouldn't need anybody else.
Exactly.
So I crossed
There's your Justice League.
the one-man Justice League.
Exactly.
So I crossed him out. I put Raven instead.
Oh, so there you got your Mystic covered right there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that. Again, I guess I keep forgetting the Mystic side.
And then I put Swamp Thing for number 5 because kind of like with Poison Ivy, I like the idea of being able to control like the plants and being like with the earth and all that.
Yeah, he is kind of a powerful being considering how a lot of the earth is covered in plant life, and we kind of rely upon them. Okay, so pretty good lineup there too. All right, next lineup, Avengers. So, Josh, are you going to be able to guess my number 1 Avenger?
Captain America.
How did you know? Yeah, Captain America.
Because he's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Steve.
It is Steve Rogers right here in my apartment. Special guest. Wave, Steve. All right. So, yeah, Captain America is my number 1. My number 2 is going to have to be Iron Man. Just because, I don't know, I just... With the movies and stuff, I kind of fell in love with him, even though he wasn't really an A-lister back in the day. Spider-Man will be my number 3 because he was my favorite Marvel character through most of my childhood. After that, oh man,
You can go like anywhere in Marvel.
and that's part of the problem because I'm gonna have to go with Storm from X-Men. There's a cat in the apartment somewhere.
A Cataly.
A Cataly. Shh. Anyways, Storm, because she controls the weather, and she is probably one of the strongest on the original X-Men team. And then we're gonna have another mutant on the team, Wolverine.
Nice, dude.
It's on my list. Cataly's giving me a look because I didn't have Scarlet Witch on my list. She was number 6. Sorry, Nat. All right, so what does your Avengers list look like?
For number 1, I put Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, solid.
Just because he's kind of an all-around, kind of, strong, fast. Got the
Witty.
webs. Yep. Second, I put Nightcrawler. He's always kind of intrigued me with his, teleporting.
He's not that powerful other than his teleportation.
He's a neat character, though.
Interesting story arc, but yes.
I put Doctor Strange for, like, the magic.
There you go, thinking about the Mystic again. You're all about that.
Supernatural. Originally I put Hulk, but then I noticed that my whole list on this one was all dudes, so I changed it to She-Hulk.
Cop out.
I'm being honest.
You got the representation. Okay,
I know
that's
nothing
fair.
about She-Hulk, but it sounds cool.
Technically, she's a cousin of Bruce Banner. She's a Supreme Justice lawyer or something like that, or Supreme. I know she's like big time lawyer. Big time works in the Justice Department.
Nice. Last I put Ghost Rider, just because he's a...
Sorry, most people associate Ghost Rider with Nick Cage, and so it kind of ruins it for me. But in the books, he's actually pretty badass. So, okay, I'll give you that.
Some alternates I had were Gambit and Punisher, but they lost out to these other ones.
Gambit's a good one too. I hear his origin book is really interesting.
Yep.
All right, so that was our super fast prelude. Now to the lewd. Suicide Squad. All right, so
We haven't talked about this with each other yet.
yeah,
You're seeing it for the first time.
This is the first time we've actually discussed it. I kind of like to keep it that way. That way, like, if we have differing opinions, we can build our arguments and or our own ideas as we do this. So, Josh, what did you think of Suicide Squad?
I went in optimistic. After I saw the bad reviews, I still I want it to be good. After BVS got crapped on, even though I liked it, I was so hoping that it would get good reviews and be a good movie.
Yeah.
Early on through the movie, I was totally digging it. Spoilers, by the way.
There will be spoilers throughout this episode, so if you haven't seen it, maybe you should stop and wait until you've seen the movie.
Pause it, add this to your watch later or whatever. But when I learned that Enchantress was going to be the bad guy, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be interesting. How are they going to do this? Because
everyone thought she was part of the team.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they kind of portrayed it in the commercials and stuff. So that was an interesting.
I was also thinking, like, how are they going to stop her? Because they're all basically
like lower metahuman,
yeah.
if at metahuman at all.
And she's like this big witch sorceress. I'm like, how are they going to do this?
She's basically the equivalent of like Scarlet Witch in the DC.
So it,
at least in the movies.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And it started out really good, like, but somewhere in the middle, it kind of started getting muddled, but I think still overall, I still enjoyed it.
What would you give it as a rating?
Out of 5s, I'd probably give it a 3 or 3.5.
3.5. Really? I'm surprised at you. That's fair. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Nice.
I had small issues here and there, like editorially, and I can see where they kind of threw in stuff in response to the reviews of Batman v Superman, like where they threw in extra jokes, where they had to respond to certain movies.
Yeah.
For example, the Captain Boomerang fetish for unicorns.
Yeah.
It was like,
Pinky.
don't try and pretend that wasn't like supposed to be funny in regards to Deadpool's obvious thing for unicorns. Like,
Does Deadpool have it?
Don't you remember the movie? Like,
I watched
he
the
has.
movie. I don't remember that though.
Okay, there was a whole thing. About.
Oh, in the credits, there's that unicorn pooping a rainbow or something.
There was. Okay, after this, I'm going to explain to you his fetish for unicorns because I don't want to explain this in the episode. Anyways, Captain Boomerang sings for unicorns was an obvious response to Deadpool.
Huh.
So, and like, unfortunately, that kind of shattered the facade of the movie, like, drawing me in, suddenly seeing that. I'm like, come on, like, basically you just sucked me out of the movie because I'm thinking of Deadpool now. There were a couple other little things where, like, I could tell that was a joke added on later.
Like
but
the whole window smashing thing? That was totally, like...
No, because that was in the credits about last fall.
It was in the previews, I know.
Yeah,
but, like, it just felt, like, cut in. Like, just out of nowhere. Oh, we're smashing a window and stealing stuff, and then back to...
There was another one with Deadshot's character when he gets unhandcuffed for the first time. There was a joke in there that happened with the head guard, and I felt like that was kind of random for the tone of this scene.
Yeah.
I think that was added on. I could almost pinpoint where it was like edited in later. But regardless, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
I really enjoyed this movie. It had a lot of great stuff. Will Smith, holy smokes, like, Will Smith never fails to make me feel in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, granted, Deadshot is a very emotional character in the sense that he does everything for his daughter. I mean, that's been established in Arrow. It's been established in the comics multiple times. It's been established. There was a animated movie that came out a while ago that featured Deadshot, and that was a very prominent piece to his character. So having that scene where Batman takes him was very emotional. And, like, I'm sitting there in the theater just like, Will Smith, I don't know, man. Every time you come on screen, like, I'm about ready to cry. Like, I just might as well just be ready for it, but it always catches me off guard. And so, like, that was a really good dynamic to his story.
What'd you think of Joker?
I am ambivalent at this point.
Yeah?
Jared Leto, I can see what he was trying to do. At the same time, his delivery didn't leave a lasting impression. Like, okay, I'm going to compare him to Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, like, had a very lasting impression. He was truly terrifying. Jared Leto...
We also got a lot more of Ledger's Joker.
We did get a lot of it. There was not as much Joker as we thought there was going to be in this movie. And the way they were hyping up how deep he was delving himself into the Joker made it sound like there was going to be a lot more. And yeah, there wasn't as much. And even still, like, I don't know. I felt like there was something missing. I think it was... Oh, no, I'll tell you what was missing with his Joker. It was a sense of direction.
Yeah.
Granted, he is the Prince of Chaos. But his chaos was always in, like, a direction, like, it had a motive. Kind of. Like, sure, yeah, he would just kill people just for the fun of it, but, like, this one, he didn't have, like, an overall, like, plan or something. He was just running around, just doing stuff.
A little bit.
Like, so, I don't know,
I liked it.
I didn't not like him.
I found him... He's probably the scariest Joker I've ever seen. Like,
really?
He really, like... I felt uncomfortable for the people acting in the scenes with him. Like, I could feel, like, the tension and, like, the awkwardness. And
I'll give you that. There were some parts where, like, it was unsettling. Like, there was a part where he was growling. He was actually growling. And, yeah. And, like, I was like... Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah.
But like, there was just that one scene, and then we never really got that again later.
Did it a couple times.
Really, I must have missed it.
But what was I thinking?
Joker, Jared Leto.
Something about what was I thinking about the Joker? Oh, his performance reminded me a lot of like old time like gangster movies, like. The way he was talking, and like there's this one point where he's laughing and it reminded me of in Home Alone with
you filthy animal. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
There's a part where it makes me think of The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
Like he almost like how like in The Godfather he's got the like puffed lips and he acts like he's got cotton in his mouth. There were a couple parts where it sounded like that. So I kind of actually really liked that.
I think it was good because he was like a gangster in this version.
He very much did have the gangster feel to it, which I never really pictured the Joker as. I never really saw that as him in the comics or in any of the other movies.
You never really think of him that way, but when you think about it, that's what he is.
It kind of made sense. And I liked his henchmen.
Yeah.
The henchmen running around with the different headpieces. The one guy in the panda suit.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of fun and whimsical, and like I kind of liked that.
That was neat. It was also cool to see him like ripped, like physically, kind of scary looking Joker. A lot of times he's just average or lanky.
Average build, or like the original Batman 1989 with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
he was a little bigger, but not terribly bigger. But this one was a little interesting, seeing him kind of in a fit position, which actually kind of brings me to a possible theory behind this iteration of the Joker. I'm pretty sure you've heard it, where this is Jason Todd. Yeah. This is Robin. For those of you who don't know Jason Todd, this is Robin. So basically, we saw him. He had grills. He had like basically fillings in his teeth. Mm-hmm. So personally, I don't think that like the Joker would have flashy something like that. But there was a video that a friend showed me earlier today where they explained that those were fillings because he had his teeth busted in, like a certain Robin. Another one was in Batman v Superman, when you see the suit on display and it's got ha 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 across it. There are two like stab wounds in the chest piece, and on Jared Leto's body there are stab wounds in those same spots. And unconfirmed, I would have to go back and see that. That could have been just lighting or angles or something, but those are some pretty good indicators.
It's got a
right
J
there.
Tattoo.
See, I saw that, and some people are like, oh, that's J for the Joker, but then in the video they're like, it's J for Jason Todd. Yeah. And me, I'm just kind of like, that's a stretch.
Kind of a stretch. He's also got a bird tattoo.
That was another thing that they mentioned. I didn't really see that one.
I didn't notice it either. I saw it in the video.
But the other thing is, like, a lot of people said when they saw Jared Leto's Joker wouldn't sit still for a tattoo. He wouldn't have a tattoo.
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't the Joker. Maybe this is a Joker. And there was one final clue. Natalie, what was that final clue in that video? In
every card deck, there's 2 jokers.
That was the final nail in the coffin for me. That in every deck there are 2 jokers.
Every deck. Sorry.
Anyways, so that would definitely fit in this. That there are 2 jokers, which means, where's the real Joker? Or I guess the first Joker. We have yet to have that answered, and we might have that in our next Ben Affleck Batman movie.
That would be a very interesting storyline.
Because I'm thinking in that they're going back to before Batman v Superman and giving us, maybe not a year 1, but give us a like
Death in the Family.
Something like that. That would be interesting.
Definitely.
So there we go. That was an interesting thing behind the Joker.
Some of the characters didn't feel fully developed. Like Killer Croc.
Croc was very much lacking.
I was very excited to see him. He scared the crap out of me in the Arkham games.
He was vicious and unrelenting in the games.
Really cool when he goes to get into the water to go put the bomb and he scurries in there like an alligator. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was really like, that's pretty crocodile-like. And actually, it was kind of weird. I thought he was going to be bigger.
That's what I thought, too.
I was very, like, when he was standing next to the other characters, he was average height. So I was...
He was a little taller.
Just a little bit taller, but I thought he was going to be bigger.
His head was huge, so I thought his, like...
That's all prosthetic, though.
His arms and stuff would be big. And then he, like, takes his jacket off, and he's just got, like... He's got, like, my arms. Maybe a little bigger.
He wasn't as jacked as I thought he was going to be, either. But even still, like, that was really cool seeing Killer Croc, but there was very little depth behind him. Mm-hmm. Whereas we get all this background with Harley Quinn, with Deadshot. El Diablo. Oh, man, I honestly thought he was going to be pushed to the back. No. El Diablo was awesome. Like, kudos to the guy they picked for him, too.
Jay Hernandez?
I
think is his name.
Either way, like, fantastic job. And, like, El Diablo, like, a lot of people aren't familiar with El Diablo, but dude's actually very powerful. He is, a lot of people consider him, like, C-list, but he should be way up there in power level, and just notoriety. But his backstory was very interesting.
Yeah.
But then we got very little with Captain Boomerang. We got a tiny bit, which led to another little tidbit of the Justice League. We got a look at the Flash. Yeah. We got
that was cool.
8-second snippet of the Flash, basically capturing Captain Boomerang, which was super fun.
Yeah.
Like, I was so excited when that happened in the movie. I was in the theater just like bouncing, like, yes, we got the Flash,
right?
Because, like,
that was cool.
That was really cool, but we got very little background on him as well. Like, his was probably one of the shortest, other than Slipknot, who, like, he popped up, and I'm like, he's not in any of the trailers.
He's like in
Slipknot?
One cast shot.
Yeah, he's in one cast shot, and I'm like, Slipknot? Like, what's up with this? This is like a D-lister. Like, he is not that powerful.
I totally called it. We were having dinner with friends before the movie, and I told them, I was like, I'm betting Slipknot's the guy who gets made an example of.
Yep. And I, like, as soon as he was introduced in the movie, I leaned over to Natalie, and I was like, he's gonna lose his head. It's gonna happen. Because, like, I mean, it would make sense for him to try and escape, because he's literally, like, got super powerful ropes and cables, grappling hooks, and it's like,
because his powers suck.
His powers suck. Like, what are they gonna do with that?
He wouldn't have been useful.
So that was...
It sucked, though, because Adam Beach is, like, a really good actor.
Yeah, and he had, like, 3 lines total.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Flags of Our Fathers?
Yes, fantastic film.
I was surprised he didn't get
Flags of Our Fathers, Letters from Iwo Jima. Oh, so good. Both good movies. But yeah, like it was kind of disappointing having like him take out like that. But at the same time, I was like, what are you gonna do with him?
Wasn't Tom Hardy supposed to be Captain Boomerang?
Tom Hardy was supposed to be Captain Boomerang. He was initially cast as Captain Boomerang, but he was busy with Revenant, I believe.
I think it was.
I want to say it was Revenant. That he was super busy with that, and he couldn't do it. But either Jai Courtney filled in.
He did great,
and he stepped in, and he did fantastic. I loved him. Dude was huge too. Like we only saw one scene where he was like shirtless. Dude was massive.
Jacked. That's what I thought Killer Croc was gonna look like.
I thought so too. I was really expecting that, and that you get like Captain Boomerang, like he's a C-lister villain, and he's jacked, and then you get Killer Croc, fearsome, and he's not. I was really disappointed.
I was disappointed in that too. I think it's probably good that Tom Hardy wasn't in it, even though I love Tom Hardy. I don't know if it was a juicy enough role for him. Like there wasn't much Captain Boomerang. I think he would have done well, but Jai Courtney did great too.
Yeah, he did fantastic. Like kudos to him as well.
What'd you think of Rick Flag? I didn't dig it.
Not really. He was kind of weak.
I didn't like it.
Like he kept getting targeted, and like it was like almost every video game ever when you have to like protect a character, and like suddenly they're like, oh, they're in danger, you got to protect them, and then like all of them are like, oh, we got to protect him, and like he get like it just seemed too much like he was just this little weakling who couldn't take care of himself, even though he's supposed to be like a master tactician slash like special ops. Like that I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But even still, like it added some tension in some scenes, and so I kind of liked that. But yeah, I was not impressed with him, especially with the fact that he was so vulnerable with the whole Enchantress thing.
Yeah,
that like really made him. I mean, I understood. It made sense for the story, but at the same time, it really just made him look like a dum-dum. Like even Waller, oh my gosh, the woman they got for Amanda Waller was perfect.
Viola Davis.
She was amazing, and they did spot on with her. Like the ruthlessness, the cold, like she just killed all those dudes. Yeah, and like Deadshot's like, damn, that's cold. Like Will Smith is like, that was gangsta. I was like, oh my gosh. And she just killed those random technicians that were working for her for no reason other than they would have been in the way.
They didn't have clearance or something like that?
It was just like, but she did so well as Amanda Waller. Perfect. Like, couldn't ask for a better Amanda Waller. And then we've got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. And what were your thoughts?
I'm glad she didn't do like the traditional voice.
There were parts where
Mr. J-Bo.
there still was some of that, but it was a new iteration.
It wasn't quite so high pitched and obnoxious.
It wasn't.
She still did the puddin' and Mr. J, but it was more like kind of like a New York accent or something.
Well, and that's kind of what the original Harley Quinn was going after, was the was that kind of voice, but it was the really obnoxious 1920s, 30s, like
which would match Leto's.
It would have kind of, but I think it would have been really obnoxious with some of the dialogue, especially, and also I don't know what Margot Robbie's chops were, because she's British, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Pretty
sure. So there was a line where I was like, oh, yep, there's that accent.
Yeah.
But regardless, she did really well.
She kicked a lot of ass.
She did kick a lot of ass. Like, we definitely got a good look at like her power. Like, she doesn't really have a power. really
what she's capable of.
Establish like metahuman status, but she is definitely a badass in her own sense. And we even got like some look into their relationship, which we were obviously like knew they were going to do, but it was very much in question as to how they were going to portray her, as a victim or as empowered. And I saw her as definitely empowered. She made her own decisions, and even still, like she took charge at certain points.
Yeah.
And she didn't, despite like her obvious, she had a love for the Joker. We saw that, especially with the Enchantress's visions that she implanted.
Yeah.
Like everyone's ideal fantasy reality.
What they wanted to do.
And we saw that with her as having kids. It wasn't the Joker as the Joker, but it was Jared Leto. With like you could tell that was like supposed to be him, and they were kind of like the nuclear family, 2.5 kids, and nice house, and loving family, and
no grills.
Yeah, no grills.
No face tats.
Yeah, and so like we saw that, but at the same time, like she, when offered that reality, she shoved it in Enchantress's face and then stabbed her heart out, which was pretty cool. So like we got to see some pretty interesting stuff with her as well, and even still, like another interesting thing with all the iterations of the Joker was always just kind of like Harley Quinn, like he would use her for whatever his whatever his plan was. He never like really showed affection for her, but in this we did see that.
Yeah, which is kind of confusing to me. Like in the car wreck, he totally ditches her.
Yeah,
but then he comes back
her.
For her like several times.
There's a couple times where he comes back, but at the same time, when she jumped into the vat of acid, what does he do? He doesn't walk away. He's like, he takes off his jacket and he dives in after her.
Yeah.
And like, it's like a balanced, like, they care for each other, which makes me think like this isn't the Joker.
Yeah.
This could be an iteration of the Joker. So it was interesting what they chose to do with this, and I'm interested to see like how they're going to further it, especially.
How did you feel about all the Joker stuff that was kind of interwoven in there?
You know, I think that's why I didn't like this Joker as much, is because it was very random and it was just kind of like thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really have a master plan or anything. Literally, the purpose of him being there was to try and get Harley Quinn back. Was trying to get Harleen Quinzel back. And like, because all those times, he wasn't trying to do anything. It was just him trying to follow up with wherever she was at. Yeah. So it was that was another thing, because like the Joker always has some sort of agenda, regardless of it being chaotic or whatever. There's always like some direction he's going with it. This one, there wasn't really that.
No.
But I did like the whole way of like trying to steal her back, and him getting the doctor to neutralize her explosive implant. That was really interesting. And originally I thought he had gotten that scientist so that he could extract it, which would have definitely thrown a wrench in the works. But at the same time, where would the time for that be with all the fast-pacedness? So like that was definitely an interesting development, especially with Deadshot. Him and his relationship with Harley Quinn.
Yeah, there's kind of a triangle thing going on.
There kind of was, and if you watch the animated movie Batman Assault on Arkham, that follows a Suicide Squad storyline. I can't remember what the run is called. I think it's Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham. But in that, there is a love interest between Harley Quinn and Deadshot.
Huh.
So that was actually kind of interesting. They kind of played on that, but it wasn't so much that as like they were friends.
Yeah.
That's really what I got from that. But it was interesting how they kind of referenced that.
To me, the backstory with Joker and Harley was really good. At the very end, where he comes to break her out, I think that's probably a lead into maybe the that's a connective thing to maybe the Batman solo that they're gonna do.
That could be as well.
But the whole part where he's like flying in to like bust her out of the squad in the middle of the movie, that felt kind of forced to me. Like, otherwise, I loved all the Joker stuff.
Yeah. Well, and there was something else with the Joker and what he was doing. Oh, in the flashback of the Joker when he's in the club.
The club with Common?
Yeah, with Common. Like, I don't know, didn't really...
I didn't really get the point of that.
I didn't really get the point of that other than they were on a crime spree.
Yeah.
And, like, that would insinuate the wrath of the Batman, which led to... But, like, at the same time, that club scene was just so... It left a bad taste in my mouth because it kind of had the feeling of, like... There was, like, an ownership of Harley. And
she's your girl, man.
Yeah, and I was just, like... then he paid for it with his life, you know? But, like, I don't know, that club scene just felt weird. But it also explained why the Joker had a flashy Lamborghini. That's not really his style.
Yeah.
But kind of made sense. You know, kill the guy, take his car, whatever. And we got that moment of Batman again. I mean, we had gotten it with Deadshot, where we actually got a really personal up close of Batman, and then again with Harley Quinn. But then there was the after credit sequence with Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. And that was especially fantastic because it was Amanda Waller negotiating with Bruce Wayne, and she wanted protection, obviously from the backlash of the Suicide Squad kind of like debacle that kind of happened, but she traded information on what we saw was metahumans, and we had the file of Katana, who was a Justice League member.
Was she?
She was on the Justice League, so that was another one. We got a very little bit of backstory, but not much.
Yeah.
It was more of explained rather than shown.
You got the meaty bits of Katana, though. Yeah,
and she was actually a really cool character as well. Very, very badass with that sword. Yeah. But we saw, it was the whole metahuman list. We got looks at that. We got to look at Aquaman. And so,
Flash, wasn't it?
Flash. And so it's a setup for Justice League.
Woohoo!
Which we did a review for the trailer on.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Oh, my friends will. Or me and my friends will.
Yeah, that was
cool.
It was cool because it was a transition from Bruce Wayne to Batman right there. Regardless of him having the voice changer, that was Batman speaking at that point.
Yep.
And just like how a lot of people study the psychology of Batman, a lot of people claim that Bruce Wayne isn't the true person. Batman is the person. So Bruce Wayne is the act. Batman is who he truly is. And actually, that's how Kevin Conroy makes the distinction in the voice, is he sees Batman having the internal monologue. Like, whenever he's thinking in his brain, regardless if he's Bruce Wayne or Batman, he's thinking in Batman, not thinking in Bruce Wayne. So it was interesting. It was kind of cool to see that switch. There was a switch in how he spoke.
Definitely. Oh, speaking of switches, I really liked Margot Robbie's switch between Harley Quinn and Harleen, like in the flashbacks.
Oh yes, we got to look at how Harleen Quinzel, Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
That was really good. I really enjoyed like seeing her like before all that, and you could definitely tell those two different characters. She played that really well.
There was like a spark in her eyes when you saw the transition. Basically, I'm not saying like she had dead eyes when she was Dr. Harleen Quinzel, but there was just kind of a normalcy. But then when we got to the end of the transition, before she jumps in the vat of acid, there was like a light. It was like a whole like other look she had. It was not quite Harley Quinn, but just on the cusp of Harley Quinn. So that was definitely a good job her part. We talked a little bit about Enchantress and her. We didn't really talk about her brother.
Yeah.
Who was another
How
kind
did
of
they
surprise.
take him out with a bomb? That didn't make sense to me.
Well, I think he was significantly weakened by El Diablo.
Yeah.
Like,
that could be it.
not gonna lie, El Diablo went Super Saiyan.
He
and,
went like Mayan on.
Oh my, yeah, he went Super Mayan and just like, and like it was so cool, like, because the whole time like, you want to see my true power, SA, like, and we're all like, yeah, fire, lots of fire, yeah, that's cool, okay, like really unleash it here, and then he did, and that blew me away, and kind of a fun thing. In the sequence, right there at the end before he dies, and he tells him to like just blow it up or whatever, and like the subtitles show what he said.
Yeah.
That is not what he said in Spanish.
What was it really?
It was like something to the effect of, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like something you... Yeah, Natalie speaks Spanish, and I know some Spanish from when I lived in California, and yeah, he did not say whatever the subtitles were. And there was a dude behind us, and obviously he was a Spanish speaker. He was losing it when he said that. He was dying, and he kept repeating it over and over again in Spanish. And I'm just like, yeah, they totally did that, and they got past the censors on that. So like that was especially funny, and even on a part that wasn't really that funny because it was him sacrificing himself. But El Diablo can shift between spirit world and the human world. So I don't think we're done with El Diablo.
Have you read El Diablo?
I need to.
The Giant.
Didn't you pick that up last over at Planet Comic Con?
I can lend that too.
I need to borrow that because I don't think we're done with him.
I hope not.
I really hope not, because that was really good.
I totally knew it was gonna be him that like saved the day. Like once I found out Enchantress was gonna be like the big bad, I was like, he's the only one who could do it.
He's the other like mystic.
Yeah.
Sort of. And yeah, he did kind of show up there, like wasn't really doing much because he was like, nope, I'm done causing harm, and then Deadshot comes in and gets him riled up and pissed off to do it. So that was really interesting, and I really liked what they did with him.
I gotta say, I didn't like Harley's big moment. That was cheesy to me, where she's pretending to be, you know, like she's gonna go along with Enchantress.
Oh no! I thought she did really good with that.
I thought it was cheesy. I didn't like that.
I
part.
thought it was great because like there I was thinking like there she is like giving into like anything for the Joker, more of like preservation of self or preservation of her friends, and she like switched it, just turns the table. So I kind of liked it.
Hello, guy from a mile away. You saw that coming too?
I saw it coming. Don't get me wrong, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
But like, I was considering for half a second, and I didn't think it was cheesy.
I thought it was so cheesy, especially when what did she say, like, don't mess with my friends, or whatever it was.
It was kind of like a anime feel of like, friendship is what matters. We're gonna win by being friends.
That's
so
too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay. I'll give you that with the line about my friends or my family. That's. But yeah, it was a good movie. I was really pleased with it, and honestly, like the reviews, like I think they're being way too hard on it.
Agreed.
Being way too critical of it.
Like think of like the first Hulk movie and like the first couple
Marvel movies were not good.
Terrible, way worse than that. And I'm pretty sure they gave Suicide Squad worse reviews.
And that's the thing is like Rotten Tomato, which is what typically people go to for movie reviews, gave it what, a 54%?
But I thought it was at like 23.
Oh, I don't know if it was at 23. I remember seeing it like pretty bad. But then the user reviews were giving it like upper, like 90s. Like they were giving it a very like user reviews, not the like 100 so people they use for their board or whatever for their selection. No, they gave it a very the user reviews were very high. Let's get an actual confirmation. Is that that's what you're looking up here? We're gonna get an actual confirmation on numbers after
26% critics.
26% on Rotten Tomato.
I usually always go to Rotten Tomatoes except for DC movies. I look on IMDb or Meta.
Even then, I don't rely on them because it is 73% for audience rating.
You still can't see it.
You still not gonna be able to see that.
Just take
73% on audience rating. That's still high. I mean, it's no Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
But that's here. Josh is looking up the Rotten Tomato of Hulk. Make sure we find there we go.
61% for the first Hulk.
61% for the first Hulk, and it was not good.
No. There's no way the first Hulk is better than Suicide Squad. Get it together, Rotten Tomatoes!
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is I'm not saying there is a massive conspiracy shut down DC movies because Marvel's trying to. No, I don't think that. However, I think there is a bias because of Marvel movies, and and I've seen so many articles that are DC ripped off this from Guardians of the Galaxy. That was an article that I had seen, and a lot of the the reasons why DC was stealing from Guardians of the Galaxy or Marvel in general were typical movie it's just things that happen in movies. Tropes. That's what I'm talking about. They were typical movie tropes. Not exclusive to Marvel. Like the brother-sister dynamic. Marvel's not exclusive to that with what they use Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as an example, and then Enchantress and her brother. That is not exclusive to Marvel. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are just so enamored. And don't get me wrong, I love Marvel movies. I love them so much. I'm excited for them. But people need to stop shitting on DC. They need to.
Agreed.
Why can't we have both? If you keep just crapping on DC because you think Marvel's better, you're basically taking away more comic book movies. I don't know. I'm not saying more is better, but I don't know. We're getting a new we're getting a new world, basically. We're getting a new superhero universe, and keep doing this, it's not going to happen. And then,
well, I don't know. As long as the box office keeps being great.
Well, that's the thing, is apparently it broke Guardians of the Galaxy in the box office.
Did it? I saw it broke the Thursday opening. I don't know, some kind of record.
It's been breaking some box office, though. Of course, it's not accounting for ticket price and inflation. I know, because ticket prices have just increased going up, even though movie attendance has gone down over the past decade. But even still, they've been breaking some records, and I think that's a good sign. DC might still be doing okay, despite critic reviews.
Screw the critics. Make up your own mind.
Is that a no on the confirmation for beating Guardians? Okay, never mind then.
They still broke records.
They're still making headway. I was right! Oh, no, I'm gonna do the real thing. Nope. That's right, folks. Suicide Squad beat out Guardians of the Galaxy in the box office opening weekend. And which is surprising because Guardians of the Galaxy was a favorite among Marvel fans.
I really liked it.
I enjoyed it. I did not understand the entire hype behind it. I thought it was good. But people were saying it's the best Marvel movie ever. I was like, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that good. I honestly liked Ant-Man better.
Ant-Man's really good. I think Guardians is probably up there towards the top.
It's
of my
definitely
favorites.
fun. It's enjoyable. It had lovable characters. It was witty and just it was a fun sci-fi movie.
I really don't see the comparison between Suicide Squad and Guardians.
It's a ragtag group of heroes, anti-heroes.
Very different though.
Well, they were all criminals.
Suicide
pretty much.
Squad is like criminals. Like,
But they were
I killed my whole family.
They
criminals.
They were intergalactic criminals. But yes,
They're like smugglers and
yeah. So not like murderers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
totally different in my
A lot of
book.
people were drawing comparisons between that, and I would have to disagree.
Me too.
And so
Poop on those people.
poop on the critics too.
Poop all over everyone.
Those critic reviews are a bunch of poop heads, doo-doo poo-poo heads,
And
doo-doo
the
sticky
whole
caca.
soundtrack thing. Every film has a soundtrack.
Yeah, it had a lot of like kind of oldie, or well, what people consider oldies, but a lot of like classic rock hits. Guardians of the Galaxy had that as well.
So do a million other movies.
And yeah, there are
Your point
quite a
is
few.
moot. Shut up.
So, yeah. So please, thing to take away: Suicide Squad was good. Definitely give it a watch. Definitely go to the theater and support it. Poop on the critics. Poop on the haters. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that.
If you're
Jenny.
watching this, no poop on you. You will be poop free.
Thank you, Josh. All right. So that's episode 3 of Graphic Dudity. Have a good night, guys.